Focus on my face. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ryan James if it's your first time here, and I am an artist from the UK. This week I will be talking you through my Inktober 2022 sketchbook. So this year I drew from the prompts of Jake Parker's The Main Inktober and Mab's Drawlloween Club, which I filled a sketchbook with these every year, pretty much for the last 4 or 5 years. I did really want also to do the October's, Audrey's, I can't remember her last name, Audra Auclair's, hers prompts, and there's Sons of Camilla, I think he says cautiously. I love her prompts, so I'm actually bookmarked those to work on those later in the year because I really want to explore some of the ideas that they conjured up in my head. But this month, if I'm honest, it was a struggle. It really was a struggle, and I managed to get 54 out of the 62 prompts done. I think they came out okay. I can definitely see where I was just phoning it in, and I can definitely see where I was really interested in what I was drawing. But low of averages, I've got some good ideas and materials and a good bank of stuff out of this that I can actually work on later. So here we are at the sketchbook. It's, I think it's the De La Rowney 62 pages, and we're just gonna see, I didn't finish the whole thing. I think I did 54, 55, and there's one other sketch in another sketchbook, but anyway, here we go. The theme I picked for this year was skulls and spiders. I tried to work them into as many prompts as I could, so let me just zoom in here so you can get a better look at some of these. This prompt was gargoyle. This one was scurry. If you've watched the last YouTube video I did, then you'll have seen the painting I did of this. So that's something to take a little look at. This was Bat, possibly my least favourite so far. I like the idea, but the execution, yeah. Quite like this one. Came out okay. The reference was off Pinterest, and I added these spiders. I wanted to practice my skulls way more in this challenge. I think flame was this one, so I just chose a candle with some skulls melted into the wax and spiders. This was bouquet, and I wanted to do something that was a bit Little Shop of Horrors-y, but not too Shop of Horrors-y, just enough. Let me see if I can get it to focus because it's slightly out there. But yeah, so just did a Venus flytrap eating a person, because why not? This one is Trip. I plan to do something way more elaborate, but time constraints. So that's one of the parts of the challenge. This one is Match. I have no idea what that's got to do with Match because I just done the flame thing. So I think Jake was running out of some ideas there. But it came out okay. It came out okay. Don't quite like that part, but there we go. Nest. Let me see if I can I've got to make sure these are in shot. I'll zoom out a bit now because that's getting a little bit, yeah. Nest, I want to again a few more skulls, bits and pieces, the actual drawing of these little things, twigs, these little things. These twigs was actually a bit of a nightmare, and you do have to sort of shade in for more a sense of them rather than anything too intense. Totally ran out of ideas on this one, not gonna lie. The prompt was crabby. There was something where I just, if I get bored, I'd chuck a drawing of the thing on someone's head, and there was a picture of a girl with a crab on her head, and she's like, I can't bring myself to do that. He says, flipping to the next page, which was eagle, and I chucked an eagle skull on this girl's head. Weirdly, it came out okay. I'm okay. I think I might paint that up at some point. This is forget, so I picked some forget-me-nots and put them onto this face, sort of growing out of him, growing around him. This one is kind. The word is kind, and I am going to paint her up on a longer, I want a really long canvas where I can extend these quite far. Because if you've seen my work recently, I'm kind of getting into the whole working pigtails into the whole thing. This one is empty. Armadillo. I know it looks like a dragon, but there is a dragon armadillo. And again, chuck something on her head because they couldn't think of anything else. This one, not a fan of. The word was foul, so I just did a girl with a part chicken dress. Because I don't know. Salty. I did this girl eating an octopus. Again, I think I would like some more time to really elaborate on this idea. I think it's got something to it, but that's for later in the year. This one, scrape. So I don't quite know what that's got to do with scrape. But again, I like how it came out. I would make a few subtle changes, but that might look nice on a canvas. You let me know how you feel about that. The word for this one was ponytail, so I know it's kind of mimicking that, but that is the prompt Jake told us all to do, so that's the one I did. Again, might paint this one up, seeing how I feel. This one is bluff, so I did a kind of Joker-esque demon mask thing. Not sure whether this would look great painted up, but I might do it at some point. Bad dog. I hit a certain point during this challenge where I just started to run out of ideas, and that's my main critique with Inktober, is especially because of the way I do it, so I'm critiquing myself, not the challenge, but there's a certain it's the quantity versus quality thing. But like I've said, I use Inktober to catch ideas and elaborate on them later. Like this one. Good idea, not my favorite execution. This one was booger, so I did kind of more Nightmare Before Christmas kind of booger, just masks and a dude. I went back to the horns theme. This one is fairy. The horns took bloody ages, but I think they came out okay. And then I did the same thing on the next one. Tempting was the word for this. And I think I'm going to elaborate on this one again. Maybe do a painting of her, forestry backgrounds, that sort of stuff. So I got plenty of stuff. This one is ego. So I wanted just to pick a really brooding, handsome man on Pinterest and paint, draw him, I mean. Came out okay, liked adding the crown. This weirdly had a ton of likes on my Instagram. I don't quite know why. I'll never figure that algorithm out. This one is snack. I had a totally different idea for it to begin with, and it got changed halfway through the drawing process, which I think is why her eye here I'm not a giant fan of. It kind of went a bit wrong. Camping, just a dude with a weird face going camping. I want to explore skulls and spiders, and also a lot this year I've wanted to explore more realism rather than illustration, but this one I just went back to illustration a bit more. This one is I like him. Again, I would change this eye. I don't know. The word for this is gear. I might add some highlights to the spiders at some point. And this one is farm, and I got the inspiration from Aliens, Prometheus I think it is, where they're sort of farming. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but that's where my head went. Okay, so this is, these prompts are from Mab's Drawlloween. Again, I struggled with these prompts this year. I picked the two sets that I normally do, but I've already spoken about that. But this is a spooky self-portrait. So that's me with a haunted house on my back. Yeah, I think it came out okay. Glampire, so I did a glamorous vampire with elaborate circular fangs. Dragon wagon, just an actual dragon weaving its way. Again, because I did 2 prompts, some of these you're getting, so they're very similar, some of the prompts, you know. Space case. Now I know most people were drawing aliens at this point. I was drawing more a private space. I've seen this bird's nest, I think it is, on Pinterest ages and ages ago, and I've always wanted to draw it, never found a reason, and it all sort of came together there. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a couple little eyes in there looking at you. If you want a clearer picture, again, go to my Instagram. This came out okay, not a giant fan, but it was alright. I have photocopied this ready to paint up at some point, but right now I'm kind of sick of drawing spooky for 5 minutes, so I'm drawing prettier things for this month, which you'll probably see in the next monthly roundup. The prompt for this is Yokai Day, and it came out way more pornographic than I expected it to. It's one of those things, again, where I was running out of time. I like this whole curvature spine, I like coming out of the mouth, but I chose the wrong kind of face and it just makes it look a bit rude. This is Pun Dead. I like this drawing. I think it's one of my favorites of the challenge. But again, in my last video, I took this face and I put it on, I gave him hair and I put him in a Victorian costume, and it didn't do him justice. So if you go back to the last video and look at that again, it didn't come out right. Scarewolf. Lagoon. I think she's pretty cute. Who wouldn't want a cup of tea in that? Cult costume. I think it was rushed, and because the eyes, I didn't get the eyes right, so everything else sort of didn't flow properly. Game of Bones. I think this might be a good sticker or a good t-shirt design. So I'm going to be scanning this in and putting it on something. If you have ideas for it, again, let me know. This one is 13. So she has 13 eyes. And I do like this one. Again, I'm not sure whether to flesh it out, give her a whole body and see what I can do with that. Maybe, we'll see. Girl Scout. It's okay, came out alright, I think. I like the hair and the shape of the face, but there's just too much real estate going on here. So I think at some point I was going to put like a pentagram there, but it felt a bit too on the nose. Who knows? I do one of these drawings every single year because there's always a bat prompt. But I did it differently this year, more from the side view, and I do kind of like it. I go back and forth, but yeah. This was Build-A-Beast. Not a fan of how this came out. Again, rushed, I think. A lot of legs. Does what it says on the tin. Hairy, scary. Plumpkin. I think around about here I started to be pretty much over it. I was over the challenge. Totally self-inflicted because I chose to do 2 of them, but if I give myself too much work to do, I end up doing more than I would if I give myself not enough. This one's mostly ghostly. I do like the face. I would like to explore more with the disembodiment. Franken Friday. Yeah, again, not enough time. Double Trouble. Now this I've only put up on my Instagram recently and people seem to like it, so I'm going to turn it into something. It does it gets weird on the eyes if I go further in here. It does something weird when you look at it. Some kind of optical illusionness. I'm not entirely certain, but came out okay. And this is the last one, Goth Moth. If I'm blunt, I just threw it together. I was and am over the whole Inktober challenge. Came out okay. Again, I would like a lot more time to thoroughly explore this idea and some of these prompts. And there we are. That was this week's offering for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. As always, I'm open to any kind of feedback right now because I'm trying to grow this channel nice and slowly to make sure I meet people. Please feel free to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. I want to get to know you. I want to create family rather than just followers. So introduce yourselves. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in again, and I shall see you all next week.